Hello and welcome to my first video. This is a one-shot story featuring Enotana and takes place in the timeskip arc of the series, so there are slight spoilers ahead. Some warnings. The video contains cursing and the storyline is quite angsty, but it won't have a bad ending, I promise. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to my channel and leave a like as well. Lastly, the story is loosely based off of Taylor Swift's song The One. With that out of the way, onto the video, in which Inoshita relives certain memories of the past he thought he had moved on from. Damn it. It had been 2 hours since Inoshita met up with his old friends Nerita and Kinoshita. The trio had planned to see each other and catch up on how their lives have been going on after high school. Inoshita would be lying if he said that the meetup wasn't fun. It felt nice being able to reconnect with his old volleyball friends and forget about his work for a short while. But right now all he wants to do is to catch a bus back to Tokyo and finish evaluating the immense amount of medical records of his patients. I blame those two for making me miss the bus, he said to himself. Even though it wasn't serious, he still felt a little irritated that he had to wait for an additional 3 hours before the next bus arrived. Sigh, that's 3 hours wasted. He'd contemplated on calling up some friends that'd be willing to help him get to Tokyo faster, but decided against it. He didn't want to bother someone to drive him for 5 hours, all because he lost track of time. Time 12:20 p.m. 2 hours and 40 minutes before the next bus to Tokyo arrives. The wait proved to feel like an eternity for Inoshita as he was sitting on one of the benches in the bus terminal. It had been 15 minutes since he arrived at the station, but it already felt like hours had elapsed to him. To top it off, the anxiety of not being able to finish his work on time did not help at all. Maybe some fresh air will help. Just a quick walk and I'll get back here. Time 12:35 p.m. 2 hours and 25 minutes before the next bus to Tokyo arrives. How the fuck was I able to run and not get tired easily back then? He says as he tries to fan himself with his blue button-up shirt. Finding a place to sit down, he glances around the area he's currently in, after which he spots an all too familiar place. Keiretsu Cafe. Inoshita chuckles to himself. The place looked the same as it was 9 years ago. His eyes peered through the restaurant's large glass window, looking at the third table to the left. Flashback. April 2013. Keiretsu Cafe. So what was so important that you wanted to talk exactly? It's just, I don't know how to explain honestly. Can't exactly help you if you don't tell me, my dude. Is it really bad? It's not that, it's just, you know how you've told us second years how you're be? Yeah, what about it? Well, I kinda am, you know. Yeah, I think I kinda am into guys, but I'm not sure. Tanaka blurted out fast as if he was being chased by a rabid dog. My man, calm down. I couldn't understand shit. You sounded like a Walmart version of Eminem or something. Bitch. Calm down, I'm just pulling your leg. Tanaka, who was looking directly at Inoshita giggling, felt his cheeks heating up. Anyway, what made you think you were kinda into guys exactly? I always thought you had a thing for Shimizu-san. Don't get me wrong, I still really like Queen Kyoko-san, but, lately I've been developing some sort of attraction to guys, I guess. Oh, so, who's the lucky guy that's been making you feel all giddy then? Inoshita smirked, teasing Tanaka while he looked like a blushing mess. Well, it's actually as far as I know, I don't recall a classmate named care to tell me which class he belongs to. Tanaka laughed nervously. It didn't help that Inoshita was being a little shit trying to tease him. It's actually, well, Inoshita sat in front of Tanaka stunned, his cheeks turning a bright red, making him almost look like a tomato. Who would have known that Tanaka, Inoshita's crush since their first year, liked him back? Inoshita tried to maintain his composure and thought of the right words to say. Well, I certainly did not expect that, haha. There was an awkward pause. Neither one of them wanted to speak, but it felt so silent that Inoshita had to do something about it. How about we take it slow, you know? I haven't really been in a relationship before, so I hardly know what I'm doing here. Why, yes, of course, haha, we can take it slow, whatever makes you comfortable. Inoshita gave Tanaka a soft smile, which made his heart skip a beat. He had never seen him like this before, which only made him feel more special for witnessing one of these rare moments. Present time, 1 p.m. 2 hours before the next bus to Tokyo arrives. Inoshita's thoughts had been interrupted by the sound of a speeding motorcycle. The sound piercing his ears made him cover them immediately due to the loud noise. Jesus. Looking at his phone, the clock read 1 p.m. He still had 2 hours left. Alright, why don't I keep moving? Inoshita didn't really have a plan on where to go. He would just let his feet take him wherever he wanted to in the hopes of killing time. What he did not expect, however, was to go to the places that he once shared with the person he loved and admired so much. It's almost as if the world was trying to make him relive past memories and somehow find closure from it. His feet stopped at a familiar park. One where he and Tanaka used to go after volleyball practice or whenever they just wanted to be with each other. The enormous tree that they would sit under stood there bathed in the afternoon sun, looking the same as it was 9 years ago, as if the passage of time never affected its appearance. Inoshita stood there and examined the tree from a distance, memories of the past suddenly surging through his mind. Flashback. May 2013. Where are we going exactly? We're almost there, come on, just a few more steps and you'll see. Inoshita groaned half-heartedly. Was the blindfold really necessary? He was concerned about the possibility of falling down because of the blindfold. Okay, we're here, you can take off the blindfold now. As he took the blindfold off, the view of the large tree and the glowing sun in the orange sky highlighted Tanaka's features, bathing him in an orange hue. It felt perfect to Inoshita, the picnic cloth, the food, the warm spring breeze, and Tanaka. So, do you like it? Inoshita gave Tanaka a smile. He loved it. Who knew someone like Tanaka, a usually rowdy person, would be very romantic? Of course I do, it's perfect, thank you. Well, come and sit, I brought you your favorite snacks. Present time. Inoshita couldn't help but give a sad smile at the memory. He had hoped that they would be there for each other and stay strong like they'd promised. However, it would seem that fate had other plans for them. As he marched deeper into the park, he could see the old field where they almost shared their first kiss. His eyes stayed fixated on the olive-colored grass as another memory filled his mind. Flashback. June 2013. Hey, Shikara. Inoshita was caught off guard when Tanaka called him by his given name. He looked slowly at him, trying not to look like a blushing mess, and answered him. Why yeah? You're not scared of bugs, right? Ha. WW, what do you mean? There's a big grasshopper on your shirt. As soon as Tanaka told him that, Inoshita immediately tried getting it off. He was deathly afraid of them and wanted nothing but to just get it off of him. Tanaka, who was watching, tried to hold Inoshita and help him calm down to take out the bug. However, it proved to be much harder. Inoshita, who was moving around too much, caused himself to trip, and before they could react, both Tanaka and Inoshita were already on top of each other. The two were very surprised, but neither one wanted to move. Both were too shocked to try and move a muscle. Tanaka, who was underneath, stared directly into Inoshita's face, and he could have sworn he saw the most ethereal being in the world. The sunset highlighting Shikara's face made him look even more beautiful. He felt like he was in one of those rom-com movies where the two characters would look each other in the eye and start to kiss. And he wanted that exact same thing to happen to them now. Inoshita, on the other hand, realized the position they were in and immediately got up and apologized profusely to Tanaka before their faces could get close to each other. Sorry, he said before covering his face with the palms of his hands. It's fine, really, haha. Is the grasshopper gone? Inoshita nodded vigorously before grabbing Tanaka's hand. He wanted to get away from the place as far as possible. One day, Ryu, but maybe not today, I guess. Present time. Yes. Present time, 2:15 p.m. 45 minutes before the next bus to Tokyo arrives. Maybe if I kissed you that day, we'd probably still be together. Inoshita sighed. He'd promised himself to move on and be happy for Tanaka's marriage to Kyoko. However, sometimes he can't help but wonder if he'd done things differently and played his cards right. Would they still be together? Maybe if I didn't take things too slow as well, you'd probably still be the one. He sighed. There was no use thinking about the past. Fishing for the phone in his pocket, he turned it on to check the time. 2:15 p.m. it read on the clock. This shocked Inoshita, as he was so sure that the walk certainly did not feel like 2 hours had gone by. Without wasting any more time, he sprinted back to the bus terminal. Present terminal. Present time, 3:15 p.m. 5 minutes before the Tokyo bus leaves, Inoshita arrived at the terminal in record time. The man looked like he ran a marathon and was sweating bullets as soon as he arrived at the station. He'd been silently praying that the bus hadn't left yet. He couldn't afford waiting for the night bus as it would waste too much time for him. As soon as he saw that the bus was still there and moderately vacant, he breathed a sigh of relief. He'd taken the window seat at the third row of the bus. The ride was going to be more or less 6 hours and he'd probably arrive in Tokyo by 9 p.m. Resting his head on the seat, he tried to get comfortable. It was going to be a long ride and he'd planned to sleep through it and pull an all-nighter once he gets to Tokyo, as he needed to finish those medical evaluations before 10 a.m. tomorrow. Private messages with Chikara Inoshita and Ryunosuke Tanaka. I'm sorry. How, what for exactly? Is this about you not showing up? It's fine, we know how busy you are. We can just plan another time when all of us are free. No, not that. About what happened in high school. Oh, what brought this up all of a sudden? I saw you looking at the large tree in that park we used to go to earlier while I was picking up Kyoko from work. Listen, I really am sorry, I was dumb and I should have considered your feelings and... Bro, stop, really, it's fine. There was a long pause before Inoshita continued typing. I'd be lying if I said it didn't sting when you decided to break off from the relationship, but I've been doing better already. And I really hope that you provide the best for your wife. Give Kyoko the love she deserves, okay? I will, I promise. Also, thank you for being a great friend. I know you probably kinda hate me for what happened, but oh, shut up, I'm fine, dude, really. I could never hate you even if I tried to, honestly. I'm just glad we're starting to put everything behind us. So, does this mean we're still friends? Yes, idiot, we are still friends. Heh, thank you, Chikara. It really was nice talking to you again. Yeah, it was. Inoshita smiled to himself after sending that last text. He had felt satisfaction after being able to bring closure to the past. It felt like a large pressure that was building up in his heart had finally been released. Sure, it wasn't the happy ending portrayed in fairy tales like he'd hoped for, but he'd rather have that chapter of his life end like this than any other. Though it would have been sweet if he was the one for Tanaka.